We're looking for our tour guide. He's here, but he doesn't look very high energy. Mr. P, you want to show us around the yard? You want to come out, show us around the yard? What do you think? Do you want to? No? You sure? Okay. We'll see about that. He's gonna know that it's gonna be that time. And yep, he knows. Make a major in there. That's a nice little plant. My investment tulip over there. The guy in the bright red. How about that? Don't buy Bitcoin. Getting tulips, that's where the smart money is. And Mr. P is ready. What are we looking at today, P? Oh yeah. Native larkspurs. Coming up, well, they emerge like in Christmas. Around Christmas. And then they grow on up, and so you plant them like in September. They're small seed, you just scatter them on top of the ground, but you probably want to, the smart money is on disking first. And this is geranium cranesbill. This is the regular purple one that I guess is all over the place. This is my first year with them, and I bought them off of eBay. I think it was like $10 for 6 or something little pieces of, I think they're stolons. I don't know. Stolons or rhizomes or something like that. There's all kinds of differences between those things. 1947 still runs. Still mows. This thing is difficult, but it'll mow a tree down. I mean, a tree like this thing here would mow down. Not too big of a tree. Well, that's a papaya thing. I wonder what that is. I just throw it out here. It'll turn into like a little dry thing, like a leaf laying there. That's all in this mulch bed. I think I'm going to splice this with a couple other videos. But it's a soaker hose, and then landscape fabric, and then mulch, and then I'm going to cut little L-shaped holes through the landscape fabric, and those are going to be yellow squash going in there. What is that blue colored grass? Wheat. It's wheat. The yellow flowers in the background. Get your guesses ready, cowboys. There's the wheat. You can see it's going to be wheaty wheat. And it didn't grow as big in the center here. Apparently it makes a lot of difference that there's just it's a little bit low in the center. I guess there's just a little bit less soil with organics, or it doesn't breathe as well. Grape hyacinth, kind of finishing up. These things, though, this is like a pioneer plant, I think. That you find them places where houses used to be, long abandoned, torn down, whatever. Or just places where like around a tree or something where you think, yeah, I don't think they put that there when this house was here. So, anybody guess on these yellow flowers? Oh, somebody did. Those are turnips. And they made it through 10 degrees this winter. All of these that are standing here, they had a few of their buddies didn't make it, but most of them did. Didn't really have to do any weeding, just disc it down in about September, and I'm in zone 7B. And then you just put those seeds down and you can rake them in real shallow is all. And then they'll come up. See this warm weather now. We're getting days up in the high 70s and nights in the 50s, and that makes them bold. They grow in the cold season. I had quite a few good ones, as you can see. I could have and should have eaten more of them. I don't think they're any good now that they've started to bolt like that. It pulls a lot out of it. Turnip. I don't know what this white wildflower is. It's a good kind of a cover crop thing. And they come up all over. It's an annual. I could probably save seeds if anybody was just frantic to have these. I don't know. You can see that not a very big flower. And he is checking the way back out. That's mostly it's a kind of a wildlife refuge, unless the city comes and says the weeds have to be cut down. If it's agricultural, the weeds don't have to be cut down. So you can have, 50 acres of weeds. That's okay. But you can't, like this right here, if you can see it through the fence, then, oh no, look at this. But somebody came and cut some trees down. If you see that one on the right there that's on the other side of the back fence, and that's a utility easement, which it's my land. I came and cut it. Cops wouldn't do anything. I mean, they came out and said they were going to do something. But they're all suited up and ready if you want to protest. They've got, and they're so afraid of the Trumpers. Ashes, fertilizer. That barrel's sat out here all winter and got it put in. And I fill in holes with ashes. I put ashes and all kinds of things. This is some Russian giant sunflowers, radishes, the edible pod peas, Oregon sugar pea. Pretty good stuff. We called these foxtails when I was a kid. I don't know what the right name of them is. I don't like them because they stick in things and they don't do anything. Here's all this. I don't know, maybe the sparrows can eat them, but little onion popping up here. I plant onions and parts of onions that are trying to sprout. That grocery store, but cloning from grocery store stuff, it doesn't work very well. But it's possible, I guess. I'll give you that. These are the yellow squash. This is pine tree brand seeds, and then over here is Northrop King, which you can see these came up sooner and bigger and So good for Northrop King. I guess you might as well see the potting bench. This is clay, processing clay and mixing potting soil. This is various junk. A bathtub full of potting soil. The actual potting bench, it's a piece of tin on an oil drum, I know that. But I fill them up there. This is ashes and that the clay over here, which is also full of rocks and sand, and I'm going to run this again maybe today and get it all stirred up and fill in some holes where rats have gotten in underneath the house. They say that's like a primitive concrete, clay, aggregate, and ashes. Here's a bunch of pots that are just being seasoned by, I just put soil in them or compost or coffee or something and stain them a little because they kind of are too white. They're just kind of raw looking. And I like that kind of old, been around look. Of course they bleach back out, so, but your potting soil puts some color into them too. Mixed perennial bed. This is just a pack of those seeds. It looks like maybe this year I'll finally get a perennial bed started in that spot. It's tried it a couple of times and had things not work out too much. These are those bunching onions. Now that's something you can get from the store. Get the green onions. It's an bunch of old fence wood. This project here, my friend's trailer, pulling out all the nails and saving them up. And it looks like we're being told that we should look at the greenhouse. So I put up the fancy door holding open device here, and we'll take a look. Sedums, stone crop, call them, because they can grow like out of a stone supposedly. Some little guys, these are from cuttings that were put in the fall, little bits. Don't throw away even just a tiny, these little 1/4 inch long piece of one of these guys like these right here. You drop that in a cell pack and you're probably going to get a plant. And then here are some of the better ones. I bought these as cuttings last fall, little like 2-3 inch bits. And they're all rooted now. They're starting to grow pretty quick. Sedum Kamchatkan. This is a gold flowered one. And then you can see there's a couple of sempervirens back there, the little hen and chicks. And some miscellaneous cutting succulents here. Some stuff that hasn't even come up yet. And then over here we got the nicest of the sempervirens. These guys are pretty. Look at that. That's a nice plant there. That'll get a lot bigger in a 4-inch too. They can grow almost that big in a 2. They could grow that big in a 2 if you. It's liquid fertilizer. These are babies from seed. Best time to do these is spring. I did them in the fall and then they came up in the spring. I put some in the summer. I bought a lot of these seeds for what I've gotten, but summer's not that good. You want like the moderately warm weather. That's what they come up with. There's a little bitty. Well, that's a just beginning sedum there. And then this is some stuff that came up from the fall. I think they were burned down in the winter but came back up. And then these guys here just came out from seed. These little specks. But the seeds are just, you can't hardly see the seeds. And then you can see the mirror here. Ooh, something really ugly in the mirror. Ooh, you don't want to see that. There's somebody handsome. What a handsome guy you are, Mr. Squeaker Dog. He squeaks. And this is the putting glass over saguaro cactus seeds. There's somebody on eBay that has a saguaro in their yard, and then turns out that saguaros set a lot of seeds. So this one guy you don't have to like steal them or anything. There's a couple of little dudes that are just starting to really do something this spring. And you don't, like if anybody ever says anything about going and digging up a saguaro, they're just going to die, and you deserve a terrible fate for stealing them from the national parks. I mean, it's just a really ridiculous thing to do. And you're not going to get a saguaro. My saguaros, if I'm lucky, I'll have one the size of my thumb in 6 or 8 years. They don't grow for hardly nothing. So, we've seen most of this. Elephant garlic over there. There's not much to see. This is the wellhead here. Sip some water. Some radishes. And I think that's pretty good for today. Coquito, say goodbye. If you want to donate, you can't. You could support New Atlas or Ben Norton, Hakeem, Ray Zone, Richard Wolf, but I don't have any way to get a donation, so don't even think about it.